Welcome Dr. Harold Hillman, and thanks for spending some time with us this morning before the 2016 Business Forum.
It's a pleasure to be here, Barbara.
Right. In your session you're going to highlight the 7 key elements of authenticity. Out of those 7, which one resonates the most with you?
The one that I find probably the most compelling would be vulnerability. And vulnerability is a big mystical term that ultimately boils down to whether or not you're comfortable being imperfect. And even though that's just how human beings are, we're prone for our next mistake within the next hour or two. There is no perfect person, but some people really struggle with that. And it has an impact, particularly if you're a leader, if you don't let other people help. That's a big factor that sits under engagement. And that's why leaders really need to get their head around the importance of authenticity, and one of the major elements being vulnerability.
Can you give us a little snapshot of what we're going to hear about the other 6 as well?
There's something that we describe in common around authenticity, and those elements have to do with positivity. So there is a sense of sitting with a person who's constructive and wanting to look forward. There's a sense of being real, genuine, and not needing a decoder with others. There's that vulnerability that we talked about. And then there's an energy component, what I call a mutual energy, where when you're sitting with an authentic person, there's no need to try to sort of hold back who you are. So there's this ability to sort of build with. I call it reciprocal energy. There's an edge component. An edge is just being able to assert who you are, what you believe in a way that gets people's attention. And very often it's not necessarily that they have to agree with you, but they just sort of lean in a little bit more. Then there's that component quite closely related to that, which is disruptive. And there's just something about an authentic person, particularly in terms of being real and pushing into things that aren't working, that others might perceive to be a bit disruptive. And then finally, there's connectivity, and the sense that very often it's what the authentic person talks about or believes in that brings other people together, which is really important around the whole theme, of course, of connection. It's a vital component.
And are these just inbuilt, or can any of these be learned?
They can be learned. That's the beautiful thing about being human, is there are some who believe that we're hardwired to be a certain way. And what I would suggest to anyone is you can be who you want to be. It just depends on how motivated you are to change your style, particularly in a leadership role, where we're getting a better handle now around engagement. And we understand that engagement really is about helping people get connected and helping people think, open up the thinking in the organization rather than trying to control it and limit it. It's really opening it up. And when you get people engaged for their, particularly in terms of connectivity and collective intelligence, it is powerful.
Harold, based on all your research, what makes a great leader?
If I had to put it in a nutshell, Barbara, it would be emotional intelligence. What we used to consider to be nice to have and optional, now we know through a lot of research around engagement that leaders have to have the ability to engage with direct reports, with their peers, with partners around the business. This whole focus on relationships is no longer a nice thing to do if we have time. It's the essence of how business works these days, particularly in terms of information flow. So this whole theme around the collective intelligence, that's where it resides. It resides through emotional intelligence.
Right, going back to the connected intelligence
That's
theme,
right.
Why we've got the forum.
That's right, absolutely.
Harold, can you finish this sentence for me? You want delegates to come out of your session at the 2016 Business Forum with what? With
a much better definition and understanding of what authenticity is. I want to demystify authenticity. People think it's rare. People believe that it's something that only great giants and heroic people can do. I want to demystify authenticity and bring it down to the you and me, the average person sitting out there who goes to work each day trying to do their best and understanding that we all can be authentic people to others around us, and I want to demystify that.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Harold. It's been great talking to you, and I look forward to meeting up with you again at the Business Forum.
It's been my extreme pleasure, Barbara. I'm looking forward to the conference.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the conference as well.
Thank you.